Hello and welcome to News Today on KMTV. With me, Anthony Kokoi in Monrovia. Wherever you're watching us from, we say thanks for joining our news broadcast tonight. Let's take a look at stories making the headlines. Over 40,000 senior students from across the country today joined their regional counterparts to sit for the 2020 WACS exams. Liberia and 6 African nations commit to administer the coronavirus antibody test. And police in Ganta-Nimba County over the weekend arrested over 25 alleged criminals after a crackdown. Thanks for staying with us. We begin the program at the Female Journalists Association, where the association, with funding from the European Union and the UN Spotlight Initiative, has ended a series of media engagements with news directors and editors to support media in advocacy regarding gender-sensitive reporting and addressing violence against women and girls across the country. According to FIJA's president, Seattle Scott Johnson, through these engagements with the media houses, the association will gradually meet its target to increase women's voices in the media. Thanks for staying with us. The Female Journalists Association, with support from the European Union and the UN Spotlight Initiative, has ended a series of media engagements with news directors and editors to support media in advocacy regarding sensitive reporting and addressing violence against women and girls across the country. According to FIJA's president, Seattle Scott Johnson, through this engagement with the media houses, the association will gradually meet its target to increase women's voices in the media.
The intent of this engagement is to be able to work with newsrooms in increasing women's voices. And we talk about women's voices, we're talking about the angle of women being journalists and women being news sources. So we believe that at the level of the editors who are the decision makers in the newsroom, if we engage them, gradually we'll be able to meet our target, and our target is to increase women voices, women's stories, women as experts, women as talk show guests, and everything. We want to do that, and we feel that it's a gradual process. The intent of this engagement is to be able to work with newsrooms in increasing women's voices. And we talk about women's voices, we're talking about the angle of women being journalists and women being news sources. So we believe that at the level of the editors who are the decision makers in the newsroom, if we engage them, gradually we'll be able to meet our target, and our target is to increase women's voices, women's stories, women as experts, women as talk show guests, and everything. We want to do that, and we feel that it's a gradual process.
Over 40,000 senior students across the country today commenced the 2020 West African Senior School Certification exams. Normal preparation to this year's exams, like other countries, was disrupted by the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic. But how prepared are the students? KMTV's Emmanuel Cody reports.
The senior students today joined their colleagues in the 5 West African English-speaking nations to write the much-anticipated West African Senior School Certificate examinations. The students have been in schools for the past weeks preparing for the examinations. Despite the disruption posed by the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic, where schools were closed for months, school administrators have believed that their students are well prepared and will come up with good results.
We are excited. I am prepared, and the students are prepared because we know how much relevant instruction we have imparted to them, and that is why you don't see much anxiety in their posture. They are very calm, they are prepared, and so we hope to see progress and through efficiency of work, and that in the end we know that they are going to come out successfully.
School administrators have ensured strict compliance to the existing health protocols to stop the further spread of the coronavirus during the exams. Students were seen wearing their nose mask and observing the social distancing mandate.
Let Liberians know that this disease is real and that we're not being interested in coming to school, but we must be interested in getting safe. That is why all the protocols you have observed are being put in place. The children are wearing face masks and they are doing regular hand wash while they are here with us.
According to the Ministry of Education, there are about 707 high schools across the country that are participating in this year's exams. The exam is considered as a gateway to universities and other tertiary institutions in the region. For KMTV News, this is Emmanuel Tatomukali reporting from Pinsville.
Many thanks to our reporter Emmanuel Cody for that report. Let's now move on to this development where President George Weah has received a report from the Special Investigative Committee tasked to put reported breaches in health protocols in administration to guard issuance of COVID-19 test results by the National Public Health Institute of Liberia, NPHIL. The report was presented on Friday by the head of the committee, Dr. Lena Bridge, president of the Medical and Dental Council. Our reporter, Anjali Noah, has more.
The submission of the report follows after an investigation was conducted over several allegations in recent weeks against health authorities by aggrieved individuals who were tested for coronavirus as part of the protocols governing travels. The committee was given 72 hours to submit its findings and was charged with the responsibility to find out whether there have been systemic breaches in the reporting procedure of COVID-19 results and recommend actions to be taken in order to remedy the situation. In the wake of the allegations, the executive director of NPHIL, Dr. Musu Kafara, was suspended by President George Weah for term indefinite for ethical, professional, and administrative lapses. Receiving the report on Friday, President Weah lauded the committee for carrying out the task and promised to come out with a decision that are in the interest of the public. As the president goes through the report, the public is now anticipating the outcome to know the decision that will be reached. Anjali Noah, KMTV News, Monrovia.
Let's now move over to Capitol Hill, where Montserrado County Senator Ibrahim Darius Dillon has submitted a draft act seeking the reduction of members of the legislature's salaries and benefits to not more than $5,000 United States dollars. Senator Dillon told reporters that the communication, if enacted into law, will carry the nation a long way when it comes to development in programs.
We have submitted to the office of the President Pro Tempore of the Liberian Senate a draft bill seeking to set by law the monthly salary of legislators to no more than $5,000 US a month, or the equivalent in Liberian dollar. When we do so, we'll be demonstrating to the Republic, to our people, and the world that we came here to represent the interests and aspirations of our country and our people, and to ensure that while we are here and because of our stewardship, we made some sacrifices to develop our people and develop our country. 103 lawmakers taking $5,000 and returning the rest of the money will generate or will save 300+ thousand US dollars every month. Times 12 months in a year, that's close to $4 million US dollars. And if we put our feet down and say we'll follow this money because we are taking this sacrifice so that we can fix the sectors that are dying and declining.
If you're just joining, you're watching News Today news presentation of the News and Current Affairs Department of the Creators Mind Television. It's now time that we take our break, but here's what's still ahead of us. Liberia and 6 African nations commit to administer coronavirus antibody test.
Looking for a quality and affordable insurance company? Then look no further. Peter Massaco Insurance, located in central New Jersey, is one of the best around. Peter Massaco Insurance specializes in homeowners insurance, auto insurance, life insurance, business insurance, and many more. We even offer a free financial planning consultation. We partner with over 20 top-rated companies to make sure we provide affordable prices to our clients. We have a full bilingual staff to fit your needs as well. Let Peter Massaco Insurance help you today.
Many thanks for staying with us. Let's now take our next development. Liberia is among 7 African nations that will begin administering coronavirus antibody tests this week as part of measures to understand the extent of the outbreak on the continent. As our reporter Anjali Noah reports, the Africa Center for Disease Control and Prevention said the tests will help the continent to determine the spread of the virus.
Liberia, Sierra Leone, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Cameroon, Nigeria, and Morocco are the first set of African countries that have committed to the program, as the African CDC says it anticipates more countries.
Those are the first set of countries that have committed. So remember, this will be an ongoing exercise until we get as many countries as possible. We as Africa CDC must be forceful and aggressive in pursuing this survey so that we truly know the picture of what is going on our continent. And as a continental body, it becomes incumbent on us to provide those answers very quickly.
The Continental Public Health Organization said the antibody test during such pandemic is very important and will determine the spread of the virus across the continent. Unlike the swab test, the antibody test will determine if a patient's immune system has developed antibody against the virus and will also identify individuals who have had the virus, as blood samples will be tested.
Public health testing in this outbreak or pandemic is very, very important. And the test continues to be to evolve in terms of performance. We hope that in the coming weeks we'll be able to put out guidance on the use of more rapid tests like the antigen test, which can actually allow for a quick turnaround time and to identify contacts.
Despite the announcements from Africa CDC, health authorities in Liberia are yet to announce how the antibody test will be administered. As of today, Liberia has reported 1,257 infections with a death toll of 82. Angeline Noah, KMTV News, Monrovia.
The education sector has been one of the hardest hit sectors by the COVID-19 pandemic. As schools across the country prepares to resume, based on the guideline and timetable of the Ministry of Education, the Christian Association of the Blind, one of the institutions highly hit by the COVID-19 pandemic, is said to be running out of logistics and equipment ahead of the resumption of school. Our reporter, Lofty Wenawe, has more.
In such difficult times, the Christian Association of the Blind, a school that caters to more than 40 visually impaired students, risked being shut down due to the lack of adequate school supplies.
Throughout the COVID-19, we sent most of our students home. The weekend now we start calling. We open in morning, but we lack of chairs, basic materials. So we need for the government or NGO to help us with some of the materials.
The learning institution also has talented students with huge ambitions. Amongst them are potential singers and music engineers.
When troubles come and mine heart breaking me, and I am still then waiting in the silence until you come and say the word with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains.
Oh, be lifted
The Christian Association of the Blind School is gradually becoming the birthplace of professional singers in the country. In 2017, Liberian contemporary gospel musician Sima Weaver was also spotted at the same institution where he grew up. Lofty when I were KMTV News, Alto Community Magibi County.
Many thanks to Lofty Winaware for that report. Let's now move over to Ganta, Nimba County, where police over the weekend arrested over 25 alleged criminals amidst the increased wave in criminal activities in the county. According to Ganta Criminal Service Department, the police, that's a detachment of Ganta, the alleged criminals were arrested with multiple crimes, including robbery, harassment, theft of property, and criminal facilitation, among others. We are now joined on the line by our Nimba County correspondent, Nathaniel Tuka, to provide more detail on this development. Good evening, Nathaniel. Good evening, Nathaniel. Are you getting me? Nathaniel, are you there? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, good evening, Nathaniel. Tell us about this police crackdown over the weekend.
Of the state of emergency on the 22nd of July by President George Manawea, Gompa has experienced an unprecedented increase in the wave of crimes in Nimba County, especially Gompa City, the commercial area. And among the crimes has been the issue of armed robberies, and citizens have been living in a kind of terrified mood where armed robberies have been ravaging people's homes and breaking through, taking properties away and terrifying people across. Amid this particular issue, the police at recent times has launched a vigorous joint security nighttime patrol across the city of Gompa and its close-set environs. And at the weekend, over 25 alleged criminals were being arrested from different communities, specifically the most notorious area in the county, in Ganta, that is called the Congo community, where majority of the individuals have been arrested. According to Redeemer To, who is the Crime Services Division Commander, he told reporters that most of the criminals were seen with other harmful materials, including single-barrel pistol, collars, and knives, among other things. And they were all dragged at the police station where they spent a night in jail. And as of today, they have been taken to the correction center in Sanikole, the county's political capital.
Now, tell us, how did the police go about to apprehend these alleged criminals?
Because of the increase in the cases of criminal, unprecedentedly, since the upliftment of the state of emergency, the police have embarked on a vigorous nighttime patrol across the city, and they started that, in an effort to combat the criminal rate. Because Gompa is a city that everybody knows that does not sleep. People have been terrified. As a matter of fact, people come from across the country and land here at night time. Some from the most interior places who are coming to pass through to Monrovia who always try to spend the night here. But because of this, people have been terrified. And even last Friday at about 4:30 a.m., a resident of Ganta was being attacked by armed robbers. He was brutally handled by them, and in an effort to try to enter his shop. So the police have tried to bring peace to citizens in combat with this particular issue across the county.
Now tell us, as we speak, what's the current status of these alleged criminals?
As it stands, they were being dragged to the Gompa Mayeshua court on Saturday, and today, after the court passed its verdict, they have all been taken to the correction center, which is in Sanikole Central Precinct in Sanikole City, the county's political capital, to be further detained because of those different crimes that they were being charged with, that is armed robbery, harassment, theft of property, criminal facilitation, among others.
Now, as a reporter based in Ganta, Nimba County, what are some of those challenges that the police have been able to explain to reporters or journalists concerning their challenges in the county as a detachment?
Basically, the police challenged in Gompa because of the population that we have in Gompa and how busy the city is. Their major challenges include mobility, that is, they do not have a vehicle to take them around town to do the patrol, and they then, like the operation, the chief of operation for the police in Ganta, OPS Lami Mendy, has told us that one thing he's been asking for is that the police here should be armed because the criminals are well armed and the police life needs to be secure as well. So they need to be armed, and they have also been requesting that the police headquarters or the government can beef up their own effort here in the county, in the city, by sending some troops of the police support unit, that is PSU, and as that of the emergency response unit, the ERU, so that their efforts here can be beefed up because the criminal rate is on a very serious increase, unprecedentedly. So they want their efforts to be beefed up. As it stands, even torchlight, the police here do not have it, to go about patrolling the city.
So, after the arrest of these criminals, what was the reaction of residents of the Gompa city?
Obviously, most of the residents here have been celebrating and applauded the police for this effort because this is the first of the kind that the police will have a kind of huge arrest of notorious across the city and across the county. So they've been celebrating because recently the issue has made a lot of people terrified. At the time, people don't stay out till above 9 o'clock in the night. You see, after the kids study, everybody will be rushing down home. So people have been applauding the police. Putting some finances together in order to help the police, provide them some logistics like the torchlights, and even try to repair some of the damaged vehicles that they have here on ground to see how they can start from there before the central government can come in to beef up their effort.
Many thanks to you, Nathaniel Tukba, for comprehensively filling us in from Ganta City, Nimba County.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you so much.
That's our reporter, Nathaniel Tukba, there based in Ganta, Nimba County. Well, let's now move on to this development where the Hindus Religious Society of the Indian community in Liberia over the weekend honored several leaders, including President George Weah, House Speaker Dr. Baba Chimas, Senate Pro Tem Abachid, among others. The general manager of the Hindu Society said the ceremony was meant to recognize government officials that's their efforts towards the Indian community in strengthening the relationship between the two people.
Why I not see any joint venture or any close honorable program movements between Indian citizens and honorables of Liberia. Sir, that is the reason we decided that this thing should be start. And I promise you, sir, as the general manager of this society, being 20 years, this chain will not stop now. Every year, and my honorables, all this, we make our own wishes, health and wealth to make this bridge between honorables of Liberia and Indian Society of India.
Meanwhile, House Speaker Dr. Baba Chimas and Bomi County Senator Sandra Johnson have both assured the Indian community of government's protection. The Liberian leaders, however, cautioned foreign nationals in the country to remain law-abiding. Both Dr. Baba Chimas and Sandra Johnson spoke at the honorary ceremony.
We want to encourage you to be law-abiding. Do your businesses legally, which we have done. Just want to encourage you to keep doing that. Because if you do your activities legally, meaning that you pay your taxes, and then the country will do. So we will not want to encourage people to try to evade taxes. And we have not done that. To actually continue to do that for the sake of the government of the country, because the government is depending on you. That's why the government is creating up the situation where people will come to invest into our country. And then it becomes the responsibility of the government to provide security for you.
We believe in religious freedom, and that is enshrined in the Constitution of our country. So I want you to feel free. Let us germinate a kind of a fruit that will bear, that all will benefit. Life itself is that what you leave behind is life, because it becomes history and your legacy will explain for posterity. So I want to say that we are grateful and blissfully we are here, and we want you to feel assured, feel certain that we are here to protect you as long as you work within the margins of the law.
Well, fire incident over the weekend led over 5 persons homeless in the City View community in Rehab Jogotan community. As our reporter Aisin Yiba reports, the disaster burned the house to ashes.
The Liberia National Fire Service was established to safeguard lives and properties from destructive fire across the length and breadth of the country, as well as to promote efficient fire prevention services. Amidst these tasks given it, many homes are being wiped away by fire each day that breaks in Liberia, specifically Monroeville. I have just arrived in the City View community where a 3-bedroom house was destroyed by fire. The fire incident have left Mrs. Estelle Jones and 4 children homeless. But just what led to the incident was the question posed to Mrs. Jones.
I was lying down. I just heard a sound in the living room. I had a toy in the living room. There's somebody press it and that sound just keep coming. I said, but my children in the living room told me this. I managed to open the door. When I opened the door, I saw the fire in the chair, in the living room chair. This is where I saw the fire. Because we got a chair right here. We got a chair here. But when I came out of my room, this is my room. So when I opened the room door and just sparked in the living room, and I saw the chair, the fire, the chair in the living room, the fire was blazing on it. So somebody just took gas and just put it in that chair and just left fire on it. So the only thing I could do was just run to my children's room, the girls' room, the boys' room. I woke them up and I just managed to go to the front door. Even the smoke, when I eat, the children were crying, Mama, we're coming down. And God so helped me, I just managed to open the front door, and that's how we came out. Nothing I took from your clothes, nothing. My children, nothing, no clothes. My neighbors had to give my children clothes, give them slipper to wear. Even now, even the clothes that only sell, my neighbor clothes on me, so nothing I took from here.
In such condition where there is no place to sleep, Estelle wants
assistance because I don't have nowhere to live right now. Right now I'm living with my neighbors. So I really need assistance. I need somebody to really come in to help me.
Recently, an 11-bedroom house was destroyed by fire in the Vartan community on the Oro. Another incident also occurred in the Oro community, leading to the death of 2 persons on the Oro community. Ayisin Yiba, KMTV News, Monroeville.
Many thanks to Ayisin Yiba for that report. The COVID-19 pandemic has greatly affected the world. One could not imagine that a warring nation like USA could also be affected. As Nathan Charles reports from Minnesota, USA, the situation has forced several Liberians to lose their jobs and worst of it all, seeking public assistance.
The journey by road from Kansas City to Minnesota is about 6 hours, but I'm heading to the airport to catch a flight for the Great Twin City in Minneapolis. Traveling in the U.S. is restricted at airports. A mask is required at all times, and flights are seeing a very low turnout.
We were approaching gates A1 from A21 and Rio to Dallas. Make sure you have all of your belongings.
Yes, about to hit the ground. sunny day, as you can see.
Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign is turned off. And keep the aisles clear of all carry-on items. And thank using American Airlines.
It was a safe 1-hour flight from Kansas City, Missouri. In Minnesota, a dominated immigrant community, COVID-19 health rules are strictly observed. This international airport is empty also. Minnesota was greatly hit by COVID-19, forcing thousands to lose their jobs. Amongst them are Liberians. Food pantry are jam-packed by several other nationals, including Liberians. This is a car trunk belonging to one of my friends who been on this journey since morning. As you see, they are providing baby diapers. You see fruits of all kinds. You see some donuts or something like that. You see there are different kinds of baby diapers. So people are also helping families who cannot afford with all of the items. If you take another peek, you see the entire bag is filled. So people have means to get food, though it's not easy. The Organization of Liberians in Minnesota is also providing free food to Liberians in need. As Jackson George, Liberia's Consul General, lauded the group at one of their distribution centers during the observance of July 26th celebration. Nathan Charles, KMTV News, Minnesota, USA.
Thanks to our international producer Nathan Charles for that report. Following his speech, several government officials have criticized opposition leader Edezana Cummings' recent attack on government, with some calling on him to apologize. The CPP political leader in his speech blamed the CDC-led government for the bad state of the nation. Let's take a look at this report done by reporter Emmanuel Colley.
When his return from his southeastern tour, where he and his entourage, including Representative Yeke Koluba, was attacked, the opposition leader in his landmark speech said the pro-poor agenda is now making Liberians more poorer, while those in government are enriching themselves.
The leadership of our country is rudderless, and the state of our nation is weak. The future of our nation under Mr. Weah is anything but bright. Our international image is once again soiled, and our reputation is tarnished. Rather than being respected in the region and the world, in just under 2 years of this administration, our country is being ridiculed and humiliated. Our ship is sinking. Too many of our people are suffering. Too many of our people are suffering. We are increasingly seeing a culture of moral bankruptcy being promoted with determination to destroy the last piece of moral fabric of our society.
Mr. Cummings blamed corruption as the root cause of poverty and said Liberians continue to live in poverty despite the numerous resources due to the level of corruption in the Weah's government.
We know that the root cause of poverty is corruption. Where corruption thrives, as it is currently, poverty will rise. In fact, it is the most corrupt we have ever had. This is not only the opinion of the Liberian opposition. It is the result of the global assessment. As a result, despite being blessed with many natural resources and endowments, our people are becoming poorer and even more destitute.
Due to the numerous hardships the country is faced with, the opposition leader said the CPP was more determined to make the George Weah administration a one-term presidency in a peaceful and democratic manner.
We hear you. We see you. We see your disappointment. We know our country deserves better. Our people deserve better. This is why we will make this still Weah administration a one-term presidency.
Notwithstanding these difficulties and challenges, Mr. Kumi said the Liberian opposition community remains optimistic that Liberians will continue to be resilient in the midst of daunting challenges. For KMTV News, this is Emmanuel Tato Mukoli reporting from Monrovia.
Many thanks to our interim reporter Emmanuel Cody for that report. Well, that's all we have for you for now. But before going, here once again our stories that made the headlines. Over 40,000 senior school students from across the country today joined their regional counterparts to sit for the 2020 WACS exams. Liberia insists African nations commit to administer COVID-19 antibody test. And police in Ganta, Nima County over the weekend arrested over 25 alleged criminals in a crackdown. We say many thanks to you for always joining our news broadcast from across the globe. On behalf of the entire news team here, my name is Anthony Kokoi. Do have yourself a pleasant night from Monrovia.